Oh, arm diggy tea. Oh wait, arm dig it. Wait,
Moon
arm
Man.
dig atty. Or arm dig it. I don't know.
Damn
Is it
Yeah.
arm?
Dig
Or
Dig
wait.
it on,
it. Yeah.
Arm dig it.
Can you dig it, baby?
dig it.
Welcome, pioneers, citizens of the world, and beings of the infinite reality that we call the universe. Welcome to the Somnium Show. Today, we're going to be continuing our radical discussion about the 7 Hermetic principles, consciously observing our thoughts and reflections on these fundamental laws of reality, baby. So let's begin. Here we go. Today, we're going to be discussing the second Hermetic principle, which is the principle of correspondence. Last week, we talked about mentalism. The universe is mental, the all is mind. Today, we'll be talking about the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you, BioCryo?
That was a very beautiful introduction. I think it means probably like a variable of things, but one thing that I can think of off the top of my head is like bringing heaven to earth. That would be the first thing I would think of, just it pops into my head. But then once I pop that into my head, then I get different energies and stuff labeling me as thinking a certain way. So the vibration needs to be able to change back and forth, like last week's thing.
The universe is mind?
Yeah, the universe is mine. Like you said, they all kind of go together. But yeah, it's like taking the last and putting them first, and taking the first and putting it last.
Jeez.
So within, so without is like the macrocosm, if you want to label it that way, and the microcosm. Yeah.
Fantastic. That was amazing. Let's give it up for
Oh,
BioCryo
what does the
Genesis.
microcosm mean? That's so interesting.
Yeah, that was
What do you
very
mean?
interesting. What could it possibly mean? WooferBlast, as above, so below. As within, so without. What do you think about this and how it really relates to your life?
Deep.
Well, I think this one relates a lot to the fourth one, polarity, because as above, so below, to me it says that everything has an equal opposite. Like you have hot and cold, up and down, left and right, good and evil, everything has to have an opposite. It's like two sides of the same coin. But you have to have one to have the other. You can't have totally one, because there can't be a good without a bad. Because there's nothing to compare it to. You have to have something to compare it to. Like, I was thinking, and it's all relative too. That's the strange thing I was thinking about. It's relative to your experience and your personality. Like, it can shift. It's like a scale, a balance. They'll shift because what's good to some people is not so good to other people. What's bad to some people is not so bad to other people. It's like, and your experience changes things. Like, I was thinking, like, a homeless person comes into Taylor Swift's house, and he goes, "Oh my God, what a beautiful house," And Taylor Swift says, "It's all right. It's not as nice as my other 5, But so what happens is she's surrounded by luxury and opulence all the time. So to her, it's just an ordinary, run-of-the-mill place to stay. To him, it's a palace. So your experience changes these opposites. They're still there. They're still opposite. But your experience and your personality changes the balance a little bit. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot, but I can't really explain it a whole lot. Let's see.
It makes me think of like when you like remember a memory, the memory itself, it changes from how you are like right now. So whether it's anything's in the future or the past, it kind of made me think of that.
And what's beautiful to some people is ugly to other people. but there's still that balance. There still has to be one to have the other. And like if you have two people stand face to face, and you say, okay, everybody step 6 steps to the left. Well, they'll move in different directions because the left to them is right to the other person. You see what I mean? But they're still left and they're still right. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to me. It has a lot to do with the polarity thing too,
Wow.
because everything has an opposite, and there has to be an opposite for it to exist.
Amazing. That's wonderful.
That's
WooferBlast.
that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, give it
anyway.
up for WooferBlast. His reflections on the quantum mechanical reality of time and space are
Thanks for
quite
sharing.
fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing your reflections on
You're welcome.
As Above, So Below. That was very interesting. And let's give it up for the next philosopher king, R-Dub. What up, R-Dub?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Woo!
So, I think I like what Bio said. As within, so without. To me, that's like the way you manifest what you feel, and which is kind of leading off of the first principle that we talked about last week. I mean, if you feel like you're like it's just the world is full of evil and terrible things, like that's what you're gonna see. And if you are more like open-minded and trying to like be the light, that's what your experience is going to be more about. And that's like as above, so below, as within, so without. But I wonder, I don't know if you can flip that, as without, so within.
Yeah, I think
So
they're
what
the
I'm talking
same.
about is more like inside you goes out, but I guess like they're connected.
I think
But
doesn't
I also
like
think about
yeah.
like there's like a fractal nature to everything, and that I also think about as above, so below, like the neurons in our brain, the way all the synapses are connected are almost the same as like the way all the galaxies are intertwined. Like on the largest scale and on a small scale, there's things that repeat. You ever seen like fractals, like the Mandelbrot set? Has
Yeah.
anyone ever explored that? It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I played around with it in
Oh
like
my
paint.
gosh.
Yeah, they're just
You
going
gotta
forever.
remember.
They're amazing.
Wow. So do you
Yeah,
think
sure, give us a
do you think with that same kind of like thinking, right? I mean, if there's like a common structure throughout the universe, you see it in trees, in human lungs, in neurons, in galaxies. Do you think human beings are imprinted on reality? Like if you go to a planet, you'll find like humanoids because of like the fractal nature of reality?
That's a good question. I mean, I think you'd see lots of similar things, like geomorphology on other planets and stuff, obviously. But I mean,
The environment
how
would
evolution
affect
would
that a lot,
occur is
too.
kind of a mystery. Oh yeah, I'm sure. There's like a
That
lot of Earth-centric
the
stuff,
fireworks
you
are for
know,
that word
anthropomorphizing.
geomorphology.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just like
That was a
the
good
shape of things on Earth. The shape of things on Earth.
Word of the day.
But
So you think there's like
I
one
think of
one set of tools that's used everywhere, and it applies anywhere you have life?
Well, I mean,
think
physics.
that's why
physics
things are-
and mathematics are constant, I would say.
They're constant.
Those aren't going to change anywhere else in the universe.
What do you guys think?
Um,
Anyone have any
Yeah,
thoughts on
somebody
it?
else.
On like, do the
Um,
aliens look like human beings too? Like, would we not be able to tell?
I think they would think that we look like aliens, and vice
Huh.
versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Wow, that's very amazing. Wow, give it up to R-Dub, everyone. Thank you for sharing your reflections and contemplations on this fascinating
talking
subject
stuff like this.
of philosophy.
It's fun to hear everyone's
Yeah,
opinions.
it's really great. You guys have like such amazing opinions. Yeah, give it up for Art Up, everyone. And now, the one, the only Artific. Yo, give it up for Artific. Woo, 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 woo. So tell us, Artific, what do you think about the adage, as above, so below, as within, so without?
Yeah, so I heard it like as in heaven, so on earth, and I would extend on what Arda was saying about the fractal nature. So one thing about the fractal is that there's one rule that defines the fractal, and then no matter how you much zoom in, you get the same thing because the rule is the same.
Wow.
So I think it's the similar thing, and it works both ways. You can zoom out or you can zoom in. You can look at heaven, you can look at Earth, you can look at the different planets, but the rules of the universe are the same. So that's what it refers to. So even if you move to somewhere else, you still will be bound to those rules. So like if you have some beings in heaven, gods and stuff that people believed in, or currently a lot of people believe it as well, but in I would say in a little bit different way. But even when they did before in a very specific way, that really there are people that are walking there in clouds. So the rules for them would be the same for us. They would maybe have more power, they would be older or wiser or whatever, but the rules would actually be the same. So yeah, I think that's how I understand it. And
Wow.
with aliens, I think there's a good chance that they would look similar as us. They
Cool.
would probably, like for example, the water. That's really a thing that gives life. Maybe there could be different things that gives life, but actually like carbon-based life, there's a lot of advantages to using carbon as basic element for creation of life compared to silicon, because it's just much better chemical-wise. So yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Artific.
Wait, I just want to ask him this. Have you ever
Okay.
seen that game? It's called like a Game of Life, where you set up simple rules and
Yeah,
then they become like organisms acting out, doing their own things, moving around. Do you
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's something like that, kind of like, in a sense, I don't know, like, when you think of the word quantum, right? Like the smallest measurable thing, like a quanta, it's like so small. Is it like a bit? What's a bit is like the smallest amount of memory that you can like have. Like, you know what I mean? Like a byte's made of like 8 bits, right?
Yeah, it's actually like I think I'm not sure if I remember it correctly, but I think it's called like E8 or something abstract like that, which is like geometrical structure that has like is theory, and it's like very hard. People like scientists work very hard on that, which is like mathematical structure that could be actually the basis of all the elements and everything from that. So it's like the basis of life and universe could be this geometrical shapes that is like really complicated, but it's actually just sort of simple rule, and then everything comes from that. And if you think about the music as like not all the tones or all the combinations actually sound good. There are some patterns to it, and it's actually just like finite number of you have the octaves and these sort of things that I don't understand, but I understand that you actually not all the vibrations sound by like audio vibrations are like we can like appreciate them. You hear that this is bad, but you hear the ones that follow the patterns, and yeah, this sounds good. So yeah, I think it comes down to some set of rules, whatever it is, and then the universe and the lives comes from there.
Yeah, that's really amazing. WooferBlast, sorry, you wanted to speak. I interrupted you.
Just had a comment. You know, everybody says there's a certain set of rules for life, but we automatically assume that life would look like us. Why? Because there's
Why
millions of
wouldn't it?
different life forms on Earth. Who's to say they don't look like worms or jellyfish or
Yeah,
unicorns?
Yeah,
you
but
know?
like we're like human
mean-
beings.
They might have rules, too.
We're like
Yeah, we are human beings, but
we're like every single
not the only
animal
life form.
combined. We're like like the
no.
maybe not. No, that's a bit too simplistic.
I don't,
But we're up there. We have
See,
a lot
That's
of.
like,
there's
I
a
think
wide
that's good.
variety of life forms.
I think that's
Yeah, but they
true.
might have rules too, Woofer. They
Yeah,
will have rules
that's
too.
what I'm saying. They might not look like human beings, but they might look like some other life form that we're familiar with.
Like
but,
horses,
not
Might
human
be.
beings.
alien horses, intelligent
I would say
alien
that
horses.
there would be like certain things like when you have like a development of like intelligence, or if you have like intelligent life who it would to develop, then it would probably want to start shaping the environment around them. So then you need to have certain ability, to like I don't know, grab things, and then when you start thinking, okay, so it needs to have some, I don't know, legs, hands, or something like that. But maybe it can, it doesn't need to be bipedal. It can have multiple of them, But it should have something to be able to grab things, and it should be able to be, do that with some accuracy, and from there you start coming on certain like limitations on that life. But who knows? They can be like intelligent snails. We have humans, who knows?
Why not?
Amazing. What do you guys think about intelligent
Jedi
snails? Yeah.
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 They don't need arms. They just use the force.
One thing like I thought is like, okay, so like how there's like different rules to physics when you go to like the very very small, how things interact, but then when you go bigger, right? Is it because of the way we perceive physics? Like, what do you guys think?
That is a good question. Like,
What was the question?
traveling into space.
So-
is it
Wait,
worth
I-
doing traveling into space, or is it like a variable or something?
Wait,
It's-
hold
it's
that thought.
probably
I just
making
want to
sense.
repeat the question to Carrie. To Carrie. So like, if everything is as above, so below, right? And you can go out, and there are these rules that are the same. How come when you go like really really small to like the quantum levels, things start to operate with a different set of rules, right? If you get really really big, does that mean also things operate with a different set of rules? I don't know. I think maybe. What do you think?
Our rules are wrong.
Huh?
I have a thought on that maybe after Genesis is done. Yeah.
What do you? Yeah. What were you saying, bro?
If you
What
go into
did you mean by
space, does
Genesis?
it change?
I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What did you
We're
mean
off track.
by Genesis? Do you mean the Book of Genesis?
Oh, sorry. I know. Oh,
Biocraft? Yeah.
biogenesis. I just didn't want to interrupt
But
him.
yeah, that's kind of what it is. As above, so below, and this, that, and the other. The water and the fire and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you mean by the
Sometimes you
water
just
and the fire? By like the four
Like
elements?
the elements of the earth. The fire's out there in space, and the water's down here on Earth. And the water is what makes us live as human beings. But we also need the fire. It's just
Right.
basic stuff.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
Sneaky strong.
We're like in the middle.
I love.
It's
So
actually, like,
I love his.
when you
I
Lord,
love his.
I have a thought on like the question that you had. So I find that really fascinating too, and I love to study the differences between like theory of relativity and then quantum, and I think that it's almost like the more that I try to understand, the more it's like, well, there's no unified theory, so we don't really know like it's like very it's fascinating, but I think it's like the more that we learn, the more that we learn that we don't know, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the
We
gong,
need each
the
other.
planet, the band Gong says, the more you know, the more you know. You don't know what you know. You know.
Yeah. Socrates, I know that I don't
I
know.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Wow.
Yes.
Guys, give it up for Artific. Thank you so much, Artific. That was amazing. That was great reflections and
Artific.
contemplations. And now, everyone, for the craziest philosopher and greatest philosopher in town, Nikki. What's up? So, what do you think? As above, so below. As within, so without.
I think, from my viewpoint of what it could mean, is that you have many influences in your life, lots of them, positive, negative. It's always said, what you are what you eat, right? You are who you hang around with. You are who you let yourself be around. And those people that influence you, as including yourself, they go within, and you become that person. It can be negative influence when they say you'll never make it, or it could be people around you that support you and say you're gonna make it, be strong, and your subconscious mind also is always telling yourself that those things, even though it's not true. So you kind of have to surround yourself by those people that influence you in a beautiful and positive way. That's
Wow.
how I would interpret it.
Amazing. So I guess based on the input that you get from the outside world, right? It affects your inner world, and what we really are
Yeah.
we're not like really like we exist like everything is like an extension of ourselves. Even the people around us are extensions of ourselves in a way. So it's
Yeah.
amazing. That's beautiful. What do you guys think about that? Birds of a feather
I think
flock together?
I have a thought. I think it could have the opposite effect. I think surrounding yourself with people who think like you and say everything you're doing is fine and you're okay and you're gonna make it, I think that can weaken you because then you think, well, I'm fine, I'm doing great. What's happened with my avatar?
I tell you,
But
girls-
but then you quit trying to better yourself then, because if you surround yourself with some people who don't think you're the best, you don't think you're great, and you don't think you're gonna make it. I don't know. With me now, that makes me try harder. Makes me fight. makes my avatar. Makes my avatar go crazy.
Bomb
No
people.
way, you'll be fine.
You know what I mean? It's good to it's good to surround yourself with like-minded people, but I think it could make you lazy and weak.
But what if you
If
you
you
know
do it
like
too
you're
much.
surrounding yourself with lazy and weak people because you're lazy and weak, like you know what I mean? Like,
Well, then you'll always be lazy and weak. You won't try. You won't struggle. You're without struggle. Well,
wow.
stop that.
Or those people that tell you that you can't achieve anything, then you actually
Yeah.
then do that, because those are people
Find some
that
different
are the
people.
ones that love you or that are surrounding
That's
you
true
with.
for most people, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I had an instructor in college, a graphic design instructor. We had a critique, sort of a show in the middle of the year, and all the instructors would stop that, but they would go in and judge your work, you know, and they were brutal about it. This one instructor, she said, "You're absolutely hopeless. There's no hope for you whatsoever. You're pathetic." I said, okay. So the next semester I took her course, and I got straight A's in
Nice.
it because I just struggled. Stop that!
We're gonna send him to live forever mode, whether he wants
I
it or
got
not.
kidnapped. But yeah, it just for me it just made me stop that. It made me fight. What's wrong with my avatar?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I agree. Like
Next.
like
Nice shot.
like one thing that I think is important is surrounding yourself with people who make you feel dumb, and all of you guys make me
Yeah,
feel
that's
so
not
dumb
good.
because you're so smart. No, because when you feel like, imagine if you hung out with people where you feel like you're the smartest one. How are you gonna grow, right? If I surround
You leave
myself
the room.
by
That's,
You leave the
there
that's
room.
sort
you
of
go.
what I was saying.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, if you surround yourself by people that make you like that, that make you feel dumb, like that kind of like encourage you to become better and smarter and faster and stronger, then like
That was
that's
my point.
yeah, that's what I totally believe. Yeah. So give it
So
up
it could work
for
either way,
Crazy
maybe.
Nikki. Yeah.
I didn't mean
Sea
to.
searcher.
I didn't mean to
Huh?
counter your argument there, Nikki.
No,
It's just
absolutely
that
not. It's okay.
I just
Everyone has
see it
their-
both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda works both
Experiences and mindset. It's we're all different, and that's good a thing. That's a really good thing.
Yeah, amazing. It reminds me to remember that, Yeah, give it up for Nikki. Woo! Yeah, amazing contemplations and reflections on the second law. Give it up, give it up, give it up for Sea Searcher, the philosopher king of the sea, baby, Poseidon himself.
First, I want to thank you all for surrounding and being more smarter than I am, because last week we had a discussion on reality. It kept me busy the whole week thinking about objective and subjective.
Me too.
So, that to start off with. But then if we look at as above,
Oh,
so below,
Arthur.
Arthur just came in.
I'm very much on the line of Nikki, the
Yo.
cause and effect.
Arthur, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Arthur! What's up, what's up, what's up? Give it up for Arthur, everyone! Yeah!
Happy New Year, Arthur.
Woo! What's up?
We
The
can't
King
hear
himself
you.
has joined us to discuss the second law. And let's just jump back. Sorry about that. Sea Searcher, but we're just.
hear me?
Yes, we do! Woo! Yes, we
Hey,
do!
sorry for being late. We're testing the live CS connection because I'm dropping live from VR into CS booth because there's a TV and a microphone, and I talk to people who are there right directly from here. And it's good. It's working perfectly fine. We just tested it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So everyone who'll be having questions about the headset, I'll be like, hey, ask me. Look in my eyes. Ask me. I'm not real, but I'm real. That's the plan for tomorrow.
Exciting.
Can't wait
Everything
to
is
see
getting
what
ready
it is.
there.
Yeah, give it up, everyone! CS! So excited. Radical. Thank you, Arthur, for joining us on the Somnium Show where we're
Just
discussing.
continue. I didn't want to disturb you.
Okay,
I probably
yeah,
will
yo.
have to leave soon.
Awesome,
what
bro.
I'll
Do
think
it up,
about.
do it up. Love you, love you, love you.
How's everybody doing in 2023?
Fantastical, bro.
Amazing.
Good.
That was a good explanation of as
We're
above,
doing
so
good.
below.
The 7
I know.
Hermetic
I was just thinking that.
principles: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. All right. I approve this message, whatever that message is.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Searcher.
I like this carpet. I don't know. It looks like a carpet, like this Persian carpet. I would love
medium
to
is
have one
nice.
of those at home on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Radical, radical. We're gonna get back to Sea Searcher. Sorry about that. Let's jump back
Sorry,
into your
Caesar,
mind.
sorry.
Tell us
No
what's
problem.
going on, bro. Like, what are you? Wait, hold on. Wait, sorry. What's
I was very much on the line of Nikki, cause and effect. Like as above the sun, so below it is nice and warm if you sit in the sun. If you
Huh.
look at cause and effect, can also go the other way around. Like if you've got a big hurricane, it can move a lot of butterflies. But one butterfly could, in theory, cause a hurricane if it flutters with its wings.
Ah.
And
Oh.
I think as
Huh.
above, so below
Bro.
can also be the other way around. As below, so above. So from something very big, like Artific mentioned the gods, and people acting the same as the gods, but the gods can do major things. But as people, we can also do major things. So we can go from small to large, and we can keep develop our brain by doing stuff we do here, creating, talking, and you can make from something small something very large, and have from a very small influence a very big influence. So that's for me a bit the feeling with as above, so below. We can be as the gods if we want to.
We are
We
all
try and
gods.
put everything
Yeah,
to-
we are all gods,
That's
baby.
awesome coming from an alien.
That's so interesting,
Yeah.
man.
creating. So that's my take on it.
So like it makes me think of like when you split the atom, like when you know like break, what was it, uranium, when like you know, and then you get like an atomic bomb, right? Like, I mean, does that like mean that you know like the reason you get an atomic
That
bond is because
also
like you're
from
breaking the
something very
bond?
small, you can get a lot of energy. With a lot of energy,
that's a
you
good
can
example.
make something very nice. But from
Those
something
atoms
very
get
small
very
and
mad
nice,
at you for
can make
breaking them
a
up.
lot
Yeah.
of energy.
That's crazy. Wow, yeah.
So it can go both ways.
Huh. So even in like the smallest things, even if it's small from like a measurement point of view, you know, still has the potential. This is like
Can have a major impact, yeah. And
Yeah.
also a small action from yourself can have a major impact
Huh.
on the world.
that's
Don't
amazing.
push the red
Yeah.
button.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Well,
That's
it
gonna
could,
be
could be that
like-
you eat the smallest nut, pop the smallest nut in your mouth, and it gives you all the energy that you need.
Well, that'd be nice.
Which nut is this?
Like a
I'm
sensu
I
bean?
need it.
Dragon Ball Z?
Like cashews, cashews and almonds.
And it's saying like one water drop, just something as small as a water drop, could
Ripples.
turn into a flood,
Hmm.
or you know, can have that kind of power, or have it water power a hydroelectric dam or something like that. So even though it's just a water drop, it gets all the other drops and create.
Yeah. And what I also find interesting, if you
Power.
look at minorities in big groups, often the big groups start adapting to the minority.
Yeah, what's up with
behavior.
that? It's so
I
interesting.
don't know if it's got something to do with as above and so below, but it's a funny thing.
Yeah. Fascinating. Wow, that's crazy. You guys, give it up for Sea Searcher. That's gonna have me thinking for a while.
Cheers, Nikki.
And now the one, the only, the beautiful, the wonderful philosopher queen. Holy sounds. Woo.
We all believe you.
Here, ask Arthur first.
Oh yeah. Bro.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we have to ask you. Okay, man. Okay. What do you think about this? As above, so below. As within, so without. Wait, where you going?
As above, so below.
You
As
blew his
within,
mind.
so what?
Without.
So without. What do I think about it? Is there any context you're going to give me, or there's
Yeah,
just
like in like the
I mean,
context
there's
of
a lot of
like
context I can put it for.
like reality, your life, you know, like
This is a
philosophically,
general.
like
general
you know,
rule.
like what does it mean when I say like what could it mean? Like let's assume that it's true.
To me,
Right.
when you say this, to me this means that everything is interconnected with each other, and like whatever we do as humans, whatever we, you know, it's like the rule. Whatever you do, there is action. There is also counteraction. You know, I think that's where it leads me, at least when I think about it for like 10 seconds. It's like immediately evokes in me this kind of things. Like everything in this life is connected. Every action has a different counteraction. Everything we do within us has the impact outside of us. Like it's just.
So
it's
do you
just
do
the
you
way it
think
is.
like the movement of the stars can have an impact on human beings? Like you know, like
100%. I think we as humans, we live in our planet, and we tend to think that we are so mighty that we can influence everything happening here. But
I'm afraid our influence on the planet is minimal, while the cosmic powers, or whatever we call it, are actually much greater, which we partly start to understand because of science and our research and different, things we do. But still, we don't understand a lot of it, and everything has influence. And to me, I'm always like, since I was a kid, I was always interested in this kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, because even I don't understand it fully. It's like, what do I, if I do this, what could be done differently, or what could have happened if I did this differently, just even tiny differently, like, because sometimes the small difference can lead to big outcomes, right? And I think this is exactly where I'm like interested in life, because there's a most efficient way of doing things in your life, but if you do like one step further, one step right, one step left, you could influence, and the route can be completely different, right? And I think that's kind of how I think about it, and that's why VR is so amazing, because VR kind of brings this virtual layer, which is not that virtual actually, because it's quite real, but it's a layer which we can kind of influence in many more ways than we can influence our real life. And now by influencing VR, we can construct and even influence our real life in ways we could not have done it before. And that's what makes it complete, because whenever I see here influence my brain, whatever influences my brain will influence the real life and things I do in real life. And VR plays the role, and for me that's the magic of VR. And I think going forward we'll discover so many applications, so many things of why VR is so amazing. We don't even scratch the surface. Forget about gaming. Like it's about just actually what we do and all the social interactions and how they affect us and how we humans understand. Like that's what really interests me in VR. And I think that's just a never-ending capability of understanding like the whole, I don't know, point of the universe of our existence. I truly think so.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, give it up for Arthur. That was beautiful, bro. Thank you.
You're
so
streaming
much.
or what? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're streaming.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Arthur. That was beautiful, and like I 100% agree with that. I think the social aspect of VR and look at her just like chugging away. That was amazing.
You gotta share.
Yeah, give it up for everyone.
You gotta let me swallow first.
I hope it was not vodka or cognac or something.
Yeah. Give me some of that.
Because that was too fast. The pace was too fast.
Share the rest of the rest of the glass.
Never underestimate how much a woman can drink.
Exactly.
That's right.
No, you see, she's drinking water in real life, but in VR, we could pretend it's vodka. Imagine that.
Oh yeah.
Now, what kind of meaning do you have of her? What do you think of her now? Okay, even though you know it's water, but what if it's not? And now it affects how we think about Nikki in real life, in real time. Oh my God!
Damn.
The whole thing changes right away, right there. Holy stars,
Yeah, give it up for Arthur, everyone.
I don't think I would be working. I don't think I'd be talking very properly if I wasn't drinking vodka.
Nikki, chugging away. Go chug. Yeah, all
Arthur,
right,
what's
everyone.
that book that you mentioned last time about hacking, you said? Is it only
I don't know the name.
Russian?
I don't know the name. I don't know the name. It was 1999. And I just put like, I opened like, it was one of the first websites, like Yandex, the search engine for like Russian speaking countries. And I just like searched how to become a hacker. And then it was the first link. I mean, I didn't know much of internet, right? And I just clicked it and it opened up this book. Oh, I remember, because I didn't want to read it on like monitor, because like all these CRT monitors were not like super really friendly, right? I had a printer, but I had this printer, which probably some of you don't even know. I had this printer, we did this sounds like.
Oh yeah.
I had
one of those.
So I had this printer with pins. Okay, I had this printer with pins. So I decided, why wouldn't I print 80 pages of this book? Okay, since that moment, for the next 2 days, my parents heard nothing else than because I was printing this book.
Oh god.
So yeah, that's the story of
And printed on one page,
It's cool.
right? It was just
No,
whole book?
unfortunately it didn't.
It's a scroll.
It was 80
Yeah.
pages of.
It's not that old.
Pages of suffering.
It's not like you print your books on papyrus, like papyrus.
Once this printer became obsolete, there was another curse for my parents because ICQ was invented, and ICQ had this iconic sound when a message came in. It was
Oh yeah.
and I was getting a lot of messages because I was like having a lot of online friends, and my parents were like, "Oh my god, not this sound again!" Oh. The whole day, and they're like, "Can you turn it off?" I'm like, "I can't. I will not know when people are messaging me. It's very important." And they're like, "Can't you just look?" I'm like, "No, I can't be sitting and watching the whole day. Okay, I just need to know when messages are coming. Come on." It's the internet, huh? Duh.
Oh my god.
Close the door.
Your
So
parents are
long
saints.
ago.
Yeah. So, was very important sound of my youth. Okay, don't touch ICQ. It's very.
I loved
very, very
ICQ.
interesting. ICQ was great, but they changed it. They changed everything.
I have no idea what that is. It was like a
Because-
I'll
messenger
never
app.
forget
like,
ICQ. That was the time that Eric and I
It was a
fell
I
in
still
love
remember
with
my
each other.
number.
A little instant messaging app that where you just type in something that goes to
It's
your
like
friends and
WhatsApp.
it comes
It's
back
like
and forth.
WhatsApp. It's like imagine it's WhatsApp but without the app. It's just WhatsApp on the PC, like messaging app but on your computer. And you can attach files. Like it was actually pretty good for the time. It was like everything was there. What we do on WhatsApp, even more, was actually available on ICQ. And so they invented ICQ invented status. You can write status on ICQ, like whether you're busy or what you're doing. They invented file sharing. They invented the messaging. They invented the audio sharing. They invented even some live features. I don't remember what exactly was it. But I mean, honestly, they invented a lot of things.
are they still around
It
now?
was pretty damn good.
Or are they one of those?
I mean, what happened? Because recently we were talking about ICQ with someone. I don't remember what we were talking here or something. And I checked the ICQ because it was different company. It was US company, if I'm not mistaken, or some company. But recently, or a few years ago, the Russian group Mail.ru, which the biggest mail client in Russia, bought the whole ICQ and they changed it into actually instant messaging. You can install it right now and use it, but it's different
Wow.
because my number doesn't work there anymore.
That's crazy. Wow, guys, yeah, give it up for Arthur. Woo! Yeah.
Give it up for all of you.
Yeah, give it up for everyone.
Tomorrow, during the daily meetup, come here because we might have some VR YouTube people visiting the stand, and I will be answering questions about the headset, and you can be with us there in the city center, and we'll
yeah.
be chatting about the headset live, and you can say hello to people at CS live.
Woo, yeah. Yeah, woo.
We'll be there.
Radical.
Awesome. We'll be there.
Okay, we're
Let's
gonna
let Oli finish
continue our wonderful
Let's do it, it's cool.
discussion about
Okay,
the second
I'll
hermetical.
have to leave Bonds off.
All right, yo, love you, bro. Have a great night.
Love
Woo.
you
Keep it deep.
Keep it deep,
the
baby.
discussion. Okay. Keep
always
it deep. I,
deep.
li-
Yeah,
I like
see you
the, I,
later.
li- I like this. I like this. This thing here. It's very cool. It's a Persian carpet.
Right?
I would love to have
Look
one
at
on the wall like this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Made by
Radical,
WooferBlast.
bro.
Yeah. I bet it's pretty expensive. Handmade.
That'll be my new NFT. You can't.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not bad.
It's not.
It's looking
not
good.
cheap. It's not cheap. But
I can bet it's not cheap. 500 cubes, okay, at least. All right, boys and girls.
Peace, bro. Have a great
Bye.
night. We love you.
See you. Ciao.
Peace,
See you
bro.
later.
And now, the wonderful
boat?
ladies.
What?
What? There's a boat?
Boat here?
There's a boat?
What is this?
Yo, how is there a boat? Yo, there's a boat outside.
Build this boat.
let Oli finish.
Oh,
What
yeah,
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
saying.
Sorry. Yo, okay, guys. We you have to share with us,
I know
Oli.
what it
Like,
is. I know what it
the
is.
suspense is. Like,
Okay,
you have to
sorry,
tell
I'm
me,
gone.
what do you
Bye-bye.
think? Yo,
Where'd he go?
okay. What do you think
He's still
about
around.
and reflect on your own life about the saying, As above, so below. As within, so without.
Well, I think right away about something Rumi said. I am not going to say this quote properly, probably, but he says something about like you're not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean. So like we are kind of what Archer said, like we're all interconnected and we're just pieces. I see life, I see existence as kind of a graph, you know, you have the y and x axes and then the diagonal a, b, and, you know, z going vertical. And it's like whether you're in the negative or positive range or up or down, you know, it's all fluctuating on a different end from zero, from nothingness, you know. And like Woofer said, like it takes one positive to exist for a negative to exist, you know. So wherever you are, whatever node you are on the graph of existence, it doesn't disconnect you from the whole of the timeline, you know. So wherever you are, you're a part of the whole of existence outside of time. And you know, I don't know about all dimensions, but I know our dimension is ruled by certain laws, right? I really like Pythagoras. He's an ancient philosopher that inspired like all the major Greek philosophers like Aristotle and Plato, and he had a whole math cult where they worshipped a math as being the god of everything and the source of everything and the only absolute. And there's a lot of really weird stuff that went on in their cult too, but you guys should definitely look it up because it's interesting. I won't go into it, but as far as like theoretical physics and like ontological mathematics, like everything is nothing. So as above, so below could be kind of looked at like that. Like really everything is connected, but it all is just nothing. Like it's all like there's not going to be a negative one or positive one without a zero, you know. So nothing is the anchor point in a way. Like you know how the Bible says like God is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And I think that was actually inspired by Egyptian principles, which you know thereby inspired Hermetic principles and so on. But yeah, I really like to ascribe to that. There's a meditation I do too that's by Joe Dispenza, and it's like I am nothing, nowhere, no one, in no time, in no place. And you repeat that over and over as you focus on your breathing, and it really brings you to a place of calmness and stillness, and kind of gives you a blank slate to go from there and start trying to visualize your life the way you want it to be and how you want to feel. And but it has to start at nothing first, you know. So I think that, like Nikki said, like it's important to have a right perspective, and because that determines everything. We're very limited to our senses, but it doesn't take away from the fact that everything's connected. And VR is just an example of, you know, how human evolution is bringing us closer together, or maybe not bringing us closer together, but it's lifting the illusion of disconnection. You know, it's
Yeah.
making us
It's an
feel more
illusion.
connected. You know, even though we're miles and miles apart on different sides of the globe, we can be together and do this and communicate and you know, create together and
Wow.
collaborate. And I think the universe, hopefully in the future, I see us doing that with other life forms. And, you know, one day we can reach that 0 point again, and I think it just will start all over. But that's
You make
that's
me
for another discussion.
you make me think of like
Wow.
the Buddhist
I
like
feel like I'm rambling.
how like the Buddhists talk about the division between the world and the self is an illusion. And like kind of like reflecting on what you just said, like you know how like basically time runs everything, and like time gives us kind of like time is a product of our body, right? And if our consciousness is in our body, what if like everything is nothing, right? And it's only because we're in a body and we're experiencing through the body that you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm making any sense. That's kind of what like I thought about.
Yeah, time is like a measurement, right? Like it's just how we judge our reality, you know, by our limited senses. But it's not real necessarily. You know, it's not tangible. It's just a measurement, just like math, you know, like who's to say math is real, you know, when there's so many irrational, unreal numbers that we have to use in order to make any kind of, you know, calculations, especially like large ones, like in cosmology and stuff. They have to use these irrational numbers to guesstimate certain distances, and but they're you know accurate enough to take people to the moon and you know put satellites into orbit and everything. But yeah, we need these measurements because they're all we have. But I think we'll find
More?
better measurements soon.
Better measurements. Well, what do you guys think?
Do you think when we meditate, like you were saying, when you meditate, you try to separate yourself from everything else? Is it sort of like stepping off the grid attempting to step off the grid for a few seconds just to separate yourself from the rest of reality so that you can, I guess, maybe listen to yourself more? Because since we're all connected, interconnected, and the whole purpose of meditating is to sort of clear your mind and empty your mind and disconnect. Do you think that's what we're trying to do subconsciously, is to sort of step off the grid for a few seconds?
Oh yeah, I
Does
think
that make
it is.
sense?
It really
Yeah.
does change reality because when you're in like this busy alert state of beta in your brain waves, where the way we are right now, there's a certain reality we witness. But when you go into deep meditation, you stimulate theta in your mind, brain waves, and that
I had somebody
changes
interrupt
Your
me.
perception of
Everything.
Somebody
reality.
interrupted me one time when I was meditating. I almost had a heart attack because suddenly I was jerked into this, consciousness from this
Whoa.
whatever state I was in. And it was just like a shock. It was a shock,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I always get
Ollie, didn't mean to
interrupted.
interrupt you.
Not at all. No.
Wow, that's fascinating. Guys, give it up
But
for
I think that
yeah,
in
go ahead.
theta you can reprogram your beta reality
Oh.
How about TVs?
to
You
an
know,
extent.
you know, TVs. Every single TV set that you watch actually puts your brain into an alpha state, into a calm
Yeah, I
sense of
heard that.
learning, brainwashing. Yeah, like do you see like how it flickers and stuff? That affects your mind.
Yeah,
that-
the old TVs had scan lines. Yeah, they would scan at a certain frequency.
Check this out. Do you know the U.S.? Wait, I'm kind of like going on like a crazy like. Anyway, yeah. Give it up for Oli, everyone. That was crazy, Oli. It's gonna have me reflecting for a while. And now, the finale. She finally made it. It's Carrie. Give it up for the philosopher queen, Carrie.
Hey, I
So-
just want to say thank you guys. This has been like fascinating. I was having some Steam issues right in the beginning, so I'm glad I came back in. But this has been so cool. Thank you guys so much for hosting. But yeah, that saying that you had, it made me think of actually one of my favorite songs that I wrote. So I'm gonna just speak the lyrics to you guys. It was within the cage of my own body. I taught my mind that it was free. Steps I may not walk, but miles I run, preparing for flight. Through the prison of physical weakness, my strengths were born, and I fly without ever leaving the ground.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh my god. Just got goosebumps.
I know.
Shit.
Aw, thank you. But like, and this, I thought of that one to share with you guys because I think that this is part of my love of VR. Is like I have always had a lot of health issues, much more when I was a kid, and if I would have had access to something like this when I was 10, like, oh my gosh, my whole world would have just, I mean, it would have been incredible, you know, like to be able to connect and have that, you know, like what we have right now. And so I just feel like the work that we're all doing here is just, it's really, really just important and can
Yeah.
change the world and
It will.
make people's lives better.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
that's-
do it, pioneers.
Oh my god, Carrie, I have to give you a hug.
Woo.
Go Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie.
Oh. I love that.
That's beautiful. That's
Great,
so beautiful.
Great lyrics, really. It's
Wow.
Really deep.
You guys
It's
are,
crazy you say that 'cause,
really
like, health is
amazing.
what brought me here too. And it's just
Hmm.
opened so many doors, like at a time when, you know, we were like so limited, and it's just like the biggest blessing because, you know, now we have this crazy form of communication that most people, you know, might have overlooked because they weren't, you know, that they
Yeah.
don't need it necessarily yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's cool.
That's beautiful.
It's
You guys are all
powerful.
so amazing. Woo! Yeah, let's take a
love you all
group
so much.
picture. Hold on. Everyone just stand right there. I'm just going
It's
to.
so fun today.
Yeah, I have like last week I was like thinking about everything you guys said, and now you know it's really
This
amazing.
is really
Yeah.
Thank
these
you,
gives me
guys.
sessions
something
are
to think
really,
about all
it's-
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I
guys.
was really
Amazing.
trying to be more positive after Nikki, after you were like talking about being positive.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I have to take
positive.
that.
So hard to
It
stay
helped.
positive, but it
helps.
does help.
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to take. Okay, guys,
It-
closer.
It's hard, but
Closer
positivity.
together.
Positivity.
Closer. Can you go closer? Closer.
There?
Closer.
There?
Yeah, close. Okay, Ardeb, closer. Perfect, guys. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna lock the camera. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, give it up for the smartest people in the universe. And everyone, the Somnium Show.
Or maybe the most confused people in the universe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love these discussions. This is great.
Yeah, thank you
do this
guys
again.
so much. Oh, we
man.
definitely
Thank
are.
you.
Stay
Wednesday's
tuned
vibration,
for
right?
next week's episode of the 7 Hermetic Principles on the Somnium Show, where we'll be discussing
Vibration.
vibration. Movement is constant, baby, so keep on moving. Don't stop. Keep it real. And we'll see you on the other side of the monitor, baby. Woo!
Yes, thank you, Ultra.
was
That was
fun.
awesome.